Okay, welcome to the school board meeting, October 21st, 2024. Carmen, can we have a
Trustee McIntosh.
here?
Trustee Kepke.
Here.
Trustee Daniels.
Here.
Trustee Craig.
Here.
Trustee St. Germain.
Here. Please rise and join me to the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
I will make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, thank you. If you've had a chance to read the minutes from our September meeting, and you, we get a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the September 16th work session and the September 16th regular board meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Just one, it says 16 and then it says 19, just making sure that it was the 16th. The title of the draft was 19, I just caught that, so I wanted to make sure. Probably just making sure it was the 16th. That's okay, that's simple. It was the 16th though, okay. So I don't know if we need to do anything about that or. Okay, easy enough. Lovely discussion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay, we have a consent agenda, including our payment of bills and financial reports.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? The one thing that I had when I clicked on the summary, I got the budget, and when I clicked on the budget, I got the summary. Right on. Okay.
Test, yeah.
Yep. That's the only comment I had. That's okay. It is a good test, right? Yeah. Mhm. Okay, all those in, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, thank you. Okay, moving on to reports and recognitions, appreciation and information. I want to really say thank you to those that rose to the challenge when the fire event and the storm whipped through, and according to the calculation, a 45-mile-an-hour wind whipped a piece of roofing through the window here in this building. So kudos to all of you, and I don't want to try to remember, so I'm going to read them. So Roy and Jacob, I assume son, maintenance boy, Clay, oh brother, thank you. Clay Lanham, Denise, Jimmy, Amber, Earl, and others that responded to the fire. And Jason, you were here as well, right? Because I messaged you. Yeah, so awesome. Thank you. And I did not see it when I kind of looked, but did I miss something when I was walking in?
Yeah, you can't miss
Yeah.
it.
Plywood up.
I can.
We had our first fun wind event today. Cody and I were in meeting plastics. But it works.
Okay. And I assume a window's on order. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Our insurance has approved the claim. And so everything's ordered, got a quote, who knows how long it will take, but
Right. Yeah.
we're moving.
Well, thank you to all those that rose to the challenge. Committee reports. Any questions for staff?
No, just comments how you guys standardized them for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is cool. I clicked on that and then I clicked on it again and then I clicked on it again and it's like, oh, look at the tabs.
All the links
Yeah.
are clicking the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was great though.
thank you. Appreciate that.
Reports are great again, like normal, but that consistency was awesome.
Mhm.
You want us to go through some more got a few more.
You want to do some more appreciations?
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
should.
was kind of waiting.
We're all supposed to have an area, but I don't know if everybody knows their area. Which school do you want?
I'll do the junior, senior high school.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm up next.
Could be.
Recognition awards for Sinessa Lundmark. Our art teacher does a great job of campus beautification and decorating the hills for holidays and work created. I did see some of that. She has also been a key member of our team or of our tier 1 PBIS team. It's a great job to her. Jen Runa, who doesn't enjoy Jen? And Earl Victory were crucial in making fall sports happen successfully this year. They help with the gate setup. They're there from start to finish. Every time they're always there. So yeah, I don't think we could have sports without those two. So really appreciate both of them a lot.
Awesome.
And I'll do the OES and PEC. How about that? I saw Miss Bushy when I walked in doing numbers on the book fair, so it was perfect timing.
Yeah.
A lot of work in. I know her daughter's at a game tonight. She's not there because of the book fair, so that says a lot to give that
Wow.
up. So it's a big thing for fundraising for us. So thank you, Miss Bushy, for doing that, putting the hard work in. And then in PEC, a ton of grants. That's awesome. So in PEC, we received a Nespers grant for $2,500 for some music equipment. Received a $1,500 grant for the Rural Schools of America. They're getting a chicken house, and the kids are going to be in charge of all things, including feeding chickens, taking eggs home. This will start in the spring, and they're pretty excited, like their greenhouse they have out there. And then another $1,500 to get some new bins for K-2. And then I saw something about they're working on a new safety thing with potentially some flashing lights,
Yeah, that was Nez
Sure.
Perce County, a TAP,
Yeah, Nez
Transportation
Perce.
Alternative Program grant.
which is awesome, not only for the
Yeah.
kids, but for the community of Peck to have that safety lights and a true crosswalk that people will slow down for, hopefully.
Mhm. I hope they
Mhm.
get it too. We tried several years for one out here.
Okay.
So it has to do with the number of accidents, and that's an unfortunate situation with my former hat on and the work that I did, where you want somebody to get hurt so that you can check off that box to be prioritized for money. So I wish them the best.
So
I
that
wish
wasn't
them
part
luck.
of LTAC's Child Pedestrian Safety Grant? I thought I read that
I
in.
thought it was a Transportation Alternative Program.
Oh, I thought it was part
Was
of
it
that.
LTAC?
Yeah.
It's
I
even so, the
thought
criteria
so.
are,
Yeah.
yeah.
We got one for the city of Pierce for
Cool.
a couple
Yeah,
hundred
but all
thousand.
great stuff that they got.
Yeah,
And
it's very good.
fingers crossed on that one, so. Timberline, who's Timberline you?
Timberline looks like they assembled a building leadership team to help meet the needs and goals of our building. So Katrina Morris, Bill Sellers, Michelle Sellers, and Kristen Sparrow have put on a lot of extra effort into reviewing last year's ISATs and IRI data, setting some goals and beginning to examine other needs in the building. And then you want to take the other one, the Lighthouse team? Working on cultural goals and plans, and Kristen Sparrow and Carolyn Condor.
I was kind of
members on that.
curious on the Lighthouse. What is the Lighthouse team?
So the Lighthouse team is focused more in our leader in need program.
Thank
for
you.
social emotional health.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the first time I'd seen Lighthouse.
That's Johnson.
I think.
This program.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, did you have to do this? Yeah.
So for IDYCA, all of the staff and everybody stepping in during multiple absences due to illnesses. People were covering extra duties and extra shifts. And it looks like the academic staff have been working towards the PLC implementation and making great strides there to move towards that for the success of the cadets. So great job on that.
Yeah, good stuff all the way around. So, any other questions on the program or school or program reports?
I was just gonna, Carmen and her team for going through this long audit. Boy, that looks like a lot of fun. That looks like you guys are doing a great job so far, and keep your heads up for the rest of it.
Carmen is the right person for that job.
Glad it's
Believe it or
Carmen,
not, she is the right person.
And almost 10,000 breakfasts last month. Oh,
That's crazy.
that is crazy. Good on you.
Okay, we actually have so we have a discussion item on the audit. Did you want to highlight anything in your superintendent report for the public?
See if I can just think.
I think so.
No, that's sufficient. Thank you.
Okay, yep, yeah. We were presented our audit for the 23-24 year, right? July 1, 23 through June 30th of 24. And it was a clean audit. So we went through our questions and thoughts on that in a work session tonight. So. And we have a gob of policies. And so Jason, you want to lead us through
Sure.
the policies? And I love the new spreadsheet, by the way.
Yes, so much easier.
Do you want to do the second reads
Yes.
first?
Important ones.
So if you click on October 2nd read, which would be B3. Open that filter view. All these are the exact same ones we went through. There haven't been any changes to them since we discussed last time.
Do we need to go one by one or?
Probably not on the second read. Let me scroll and
Okay.
make sure I didn't.
I thought we had an assignment on one of them.
Wording of
The library one.
yeah.
Mhm.
2435. Let me open 2435.
I didn't think of that one.
Okay, 2435, under challenging courses. Those two paragraphs I struck because they're not applicable right now. It would take a significant effort to put something like that into place, and we're not at a place where we can do that right now. So you could see it when you get in that policy, but those two paragraphs is basically about challenging a course.
So we just removed that part.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's not going to be applicable in our policy right now. In order to do that effectively, it would take a tremendous amount of intentional study and design. It can be because you're talking about, taking a test or something to say that you've mastered a whole secondary course. And we're just not in a position to do that right now. The rest of that is as is.
So there's the one row that is not pulling anything up. In the first read, or the second now for me. Sick leave bank. First read. The second read
Sick
is
leave
not.
bank, we do not want to adopt that policy. We have,
Okay,
it's not in alignment with our negotiated agreement. We have our sick leave bank all lined out in our negotiated agreement, so.
okay, I didn't see anything in column D as far as a note there, so that's
What one is that? And I'll make a note there so we don't lose it.
it is, that's the thing, it's not coming up for me. So,
Was it at first?
when I filter the second read, it's row 10.
Must,
Mine shows drug or alcohol abuse on row 10.
So it says
It's-
September 1st read in column A and October 2nd read in column B, but there's no number. It doesn't link to any texts.
Yeah,
I
there's
opened-
nothing, those are old, so it's not there.
Okay,
If you we're just looking at the filtered view of second read, and so that's why that's not there.
okay, but the second read date is 10/21/24. That's why.
Right.
Okay,
Those, I could have taken out A10 and B10. That might have been helpful. But yes, we do not adopting that.
okay.
And on second read, that's it. There's no other
Okay,
changes.
I thought there was one that we needed to,
I thought it was the
Look at
library
the
one, the
email.
wording.
the email question I sent last night, because I read through all of them.
Two, and I can't remember.
We can glance at first reads if you want to see if what you're thinking of is over there.
We did make the second read. That's why
That's
it's
probably why
probably
we don't see
first
it.
read.
There's one about the library.
2530, our task is to
2500.
adopt and discuss whether to remove or accept any district resident in association with the permissions. There's a permissions in there, 2030.
Which one are you on?
You jump to a
100.
different.
2500 is says some choices to make within the policy.
If you stay in October's second read. Just approve
25.
those and then you've got them.
Except here, the second paragraph of 2530, any parent, guardian of a district student, any student or any employee, and then optional, or any district resident may formally challenge a specific learning material item used in the district's educational program. So I thought we would need to have a conversation and discussion around striking the optional or any district resident.
We can, yeah. And go either way.
So I thought.
Strike that if you want.
I thought we needed to have that, yeah, we needed to have that conversation. My personal opinion is that we should focus those permissions and that input into our education to folks that are directly impacted and not anyone that lives in the district.
I concur. My recommendation is that that's struck and that it's just any parent or guardian of a district, student or employee.
I like it. Way better.
What's that's
we need a-
intending to do is at times there are special interest groups. Sometimes they don't even live in the community that, you know, are
Exactly.
challenging things.
So do we
Thanks for
need
bringing
a
that
special
up.
vote on that?
No, just if we just,
Okay.
you know, we just discuss that and if you approve it
Okay.
Yep.
with that
With
change,
that
then you
strike.
approve.
That's right.
Okay, I didn't know if we needed to call that out.
Yeah, no, it's good.
That was, that was. the-
2530.
Yeah.
25,
25 SBA, 25-30.
I'm gonna make the, you know, the change that you're suggesting. So all you'll have to do is approve it as we've discussed.
That was the one, yeah, Chris.
As soon as I.
So
can
that's the
find-
only one I saw when I read through all of them last
Yep.
night that it appeared we had any kind of action or decision to make.
So you're doing that now, Jason. You're striking that out.
I am trying to.
I see you're working on that. Okay.
3440, I had to laugh to myself and it was late, but is that perhaps a way to make sure food debts are paid, is to withhold graduation if you haven't paid your food debt?
I've heard of that before.
It says all indebtedness, so I mean, I know that would be up to us collectively to
Right.
enforce that, but I sort of chuckled. And then I got an article this morning about how food should be no cost and what's the value of that. So I was a little torn this morning, Carmen, when I had laughed last night at this policy. Okay, so moving to the first reads then.
I found something else.
Oh, good.
2530,
Same.
same, down in green. Almost to the bottom. There's an option there also.
Not seeing the
So-
option.
We have to decide, the district may decline to consider a request for reconsideration of a material that's already been the subject of such reconsideration within the past however many years you want to say. And the suggestions here are 3, 4, or some shorter period of time.
Oh, see, it's in green. I thought that
Right.
all they were in orange.
Yeah,
I was
it's-
looking for orange.
Too.
Okay.
It says towards the bottom, Jason.
Yeah,
Right under formal process,
it's highlighted in green and it's a paragraph starts with optional.
Optional.
page
Got it.
2 of 7.
You're on it.
Okay.
The longer period of time of 4 years gives us the most flexibility. You know, that gives us, if it's brought up again with them, you can still choose
Do
to
it
read.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
Mhm.
you have to do it by 4.
Yeah. I like 4.
I do too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm good with 4.
So you're gonna fix that real time too? Sweet.
Will.
At least Google Docs.
They tricked us. Green.
Mhm.
They did, didn't they?
Well, you can amend it right while we're in it.
And I'll double check everything before I publish it. What was the next policy that you were talking about?
Well, we were just.
Oh, that was
joking about it.
3440.
How it's saying you need to pay before you graduate, and then we get other stuff at the same time saying it should be free.
And that's common, that practice has been in place, you know.
Forever.
Yeah. It just
It
struck
was-
home
I
with
was
me.
nice.
Me too.
Yeah,
didn't
I
pay
remember
your-
being in high school and.
If you didn't turn your
your
equipment
library
in and you
debts,
owed
missed it, yeah.
$100, you didn't graduate if you didn't pay your
Yeah.
$100.
It just came to mind.
So do you want to move? Do you want-
That's a second read. So, if there's no other questions, can we have a motion to adopt?
No, we're just discussion.
No, this is discussion.
Yeah, we gotta wait. We gotta wait.
Drives me nuts.
I know, but the 2s are done.
Okay, go to one.
Let's go to 1. So,
Okay, October 1st read.
Filter by condition.
For the love of Nancy.
now we're clicking on
Filter.
September
So-
read. Or
October 1st read.
why am I not seeing that?
Once I
Close,
get it,
make sure you close the filter view,
Oh, yeah. that's
bar
what I did.
upper right. And then you'll go back to your home
Thank you.
screen.
oh, so you have to start over?
Correct.
That's
There we go.
And then go to October 1st read. That first one is one we've discussed, 2650. I've got input from both of the secondary principals and we feel like we can, this policy will work for us as it's written. Basically, it puts a committee, we only have a little bit of guidance in our 3000 policy. This is a different policy. You can see my bold comments there about 3000. This would put a committee in place to review a homeschool student coming in and whatever they have for curriculum and evidence of passing the courses, and it lines all that out. So we feel like we discussed that. We feel like we can implement that policy and make it work.
Keeping the optional one counselor.
Yes. Yeah, because we always would need our counselor at the secondary level there.
But removing the right to appeal, so there'd be no appeal process.
Yeah. So we'd go through that whole process. You'd have all those players involved. They're the ones that would know,
Right.
and that would be the end of it.
And the decision is the decision. So.
Yep.
They can try a different district.
The process would be a little bit cumbersome for us, but it's so infrequent that,
Yeah.
Right.
we can make it work. There's your sick leave bank. We didn't
Yeah, I'm
talk
reading the
about that.
5407. I agree. We probably shouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Mhm.
It does so much as far as opening things back up, and we don't need to go down those roads. We worked too hard to get where we're at on that one.
Yeah, so let's see. 5401 and 54, yeah.
Yeah. So we're
this-
just gonna,
This is the language that Carmen's referencing. It's the language from our negotiated agreement.
oh, perfect.
A11. On all these health education, sex education policies,
Yeah.
we've already approved the main change. These are just like they've had the sex education inside of this other policy. Now they're keeping it in its own policy, just kind of cleaning it all up. So you can read the comments there, but it's really just getting everything separated out. I'll look and see if there's any.
That's all
other
the
changes.
2340s.
Mhm. Some grammatical changes. Notice in 2340, we struck the optional paragraph. Some of this was pretty onerous. We had a discussion about trying to identify every controversial issue and hold all of our staff accountable to providing notification is probably not feasible. So that optional paragraph is struck.
Well, and the way I read it was just a big gotcha, because if one new thing came up, then you would have to then reopen that whole.
Right.
Mhm.
What's controversial to you is not to
Mhm.
me or vice versa.
Mhm.
All the parent rights are still in place.
Just an aside, related but aside, what's the participation of your policy meetings on? It was last Monday.
Last
right?
one was
I meant to
Becca
Becca
and I.
participate. Okay. I meant to participate, but I
Oh,
got
good
buried.
God. But I've also been reaching out to the principals or the nurse or whoever the policies, if it
Mhm.
directly if I know that it's going to directly impact somebody's world, I'm asking those questions. But as far as being available and meeting on that Zoom meeting,
Mhm. I just wondered what level of engagement we were having. Mhm.
And 3281, we're not making that a first read tonight. We're holding off on that one.
that's my recommendation. Thanks for bringing that up.
Which one was that, Taylor?
3281.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
If
That's
you
the
look at
Title
that,
IX stuff,
Yes.
gender.
it's got a lot of complex, controversial gender stuff, and the law is in limbo right now. So my recommendation is we also have policies that handle harassment and bullying and fair treatment of students and adults. So
Mhm.
I don't feel like we're
I
in any
wondered,
jeopardy.
and I wonder, do we have any issues, school leaders, that would tie to some of this gender specific policy?
That without the law, but they would, the law has to be in place for us to be able to enforce it. So
Right.
I align with Jason in the sense that we have bullying and harassment policy that would aid us in this situation.
Okay, that's it. I can only think of one situation that has come to our table.
Well, we got 3 years and
Mhm.
it got
Yeah.
handled by that,
More
so I
than
say
that.
hold off on this one too.
Mhm. Let's see. The homeschooling credit one. I don't remember. Isn't it 2560?
That was 2650. That's
Yeah,
one I
okay.
talked about.
Yep.
Second read.
I thought it was first
Or
read.
it is, I'm
It's
sorry.
first
It's the
read.
first one I talked about. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I was just struggling with my filter.
That's the one where I was saying we'll have to have a committee in place and we can do it.
Mhm.
The last one there is just that it's just a
74-2.
7402. It's a recommended update. And it basically talks about doing business with companies that are boycotting those industries.
And that's a standard. We just, in my work, secured a grant from the state, and that is standard language now. You have to have
Mhm.
that in all your contracts. So I thought that was
I
just,
was kind of surprised that it was recommended. Surprised it's not required.
yeah, because it's
apparently-
code. it's Idaho code.
Apparently that policy is a recommended policy. But I think we're okay with it.
It's funny because it says
So-
this requirement shall not.
Right.
Yeah. It brought to my mind, Russell, and this is outside of this, but around the new money that's coming down and the Build America, Buy America Act and compliance, particularly around technology. And what is on your note of the Wi-Fi in schools, I think we should probably pay attention to the manufacturing of those products and whether they are BABA compliant. I built a cheat sheet. I'll share with you.
We just had to change all our cameras because our last cameras at Night Force were
Mhm, not
not for the
compliant.
military contracts.
Yep.
So we had to update cameras.
Yeah, with the federal money that's coming down, I think that that's going to be across the board, not just with the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act. Make a note and send that to you.
I'll give them. Yeah, so that's good.
Okay.
That's it on policy.
Any additional questions?
We've made, just in a side note on policy, we've made quite a bit of progress towards having all of our policies combined into PDF form. Mindy's doing some work. I've got 1 through 3,000 all in one PDF. You can search it, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. It's cleaned up. Russell's giving me a lot of guidance, and then Mindy's working on 4 through 9. And so it's been daunting. It's because, you know, it's a mess. If you get online and try to, you know, sort through, especially if you're not familiar with it,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that'll be so much nicer. And in the relative near future, there'll be one link on there. It'll
Get
open a
to everything.
PDF and you
Wow.
can search for bullying or teacher or
Right.
whatever.
Nice.
Way better.
It's great. Okay, so if we have no more questions on policy, moving on to discussion item 3, property utilization near the junior senior high school.
So basically, our attorney and insurance said that you could decide to enter into a lease agreement with Mr. Blanford. And our liability would be minimal if he provided his own insurance, signed a lease that had a waiver included. We wouldn't allow any structures or anything like that. I have a draft of a lease that if you decide to go that way, you know, I can finish it up with Mr. Blanford. If you don't, then obviously we won't need to move forward. But it's a lease agreement that protects the district. You know, either party can terminate at any time for any reason. It doesn't transfer with the sale of his property. You know, it protects there's not a lot.
It allows us actually added protection if we do that. That's how I understood it. So,
So,
and-
send you the school a copy of the liability. Agreement.
Yeah, so in our
That's State Farm.
in our conversation, it was, it really came to light that if we just let it happen, then we assume liability.
Right.
And so then having an agreement further protects us.
Questions, discussion? And that's
Is
what
this
this
that
part
little-
is.
Piece of land
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, that we
Yep.
don't really know.
okay,
Yeah.
That
If-
property literally flows right into my property, so
okay.
I'm mainly concerned with fire and stuff like that. So I keep the trees trimmed, grass mowed.
Okay.
Snakes down. Yeah. Oh, you weren't here last meeting.
No,
We had quite
no.
a conversation.
But I
about it.
think, I think it was brought up a few months back,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, we were, but
Yeah,
we
he's been
we
patient
decided,
with us.
we decided we didn't want to sell. We definitely didn't
Okay.
want to sell. We were trying to figure out how he's willing to do some work to the land and keep it clean
Okay.
and stuff. So that's what you came up with. I believe.
Yeah, that's the safest option for the district is it.
Plus there's trees that go on the roadside coming up Dunlap.
Yeah.
Which is part of the high school property also, which I was wondering wanting to keep those trees to the fires that were recently up in Winston Heights. The fires caught the lower branches on fire and then ignited all the trees, so I wanted to keep the trees cut. Just so those lower branches can't catch fire.
In that lease agreement, can we say that? I mean, can we say what can be done on there? Like, obviously you can't cut a tree down, but you can
Yes,
limit a
that-
tree, you can clean the
Yeah,
grass.
cut it down.
That's what I have in there.
Okay.
So the purpose says the lessee shall use the property solely for the purpose of maintaining grass and weeds adjacent to his property. No structures shall be erected or maintained on the property during the term of this lease agreement. No tree removal or excavation shall occur without prior written consent.
Okay.
So it would allow him to do what he's asking, mostly what he's
Okay.
asking to do. He did ask about structures and things, but would protect the district at the same time. And then again, either one of us could say, yeah, we're
Sure.
done, for any reason. So there would be no length of agreement.
I like this a lot better. Like you said, I think
Protecting the public interest and you're good with it. Yeah. I think
it's
so.
probably gonna make our school property look better without our maintenance guys doing it. So it's a win-win.
State Farm do a draft of the liability, and I can bring it to the school. And once it's okayed, I'll have them put it in final amendment.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Um,
that's an action later,
Okay.
if you decide that's the way you want to go.
The PEC late start. Yeah,
That was power.
somebody.
Yeah, we had
see that?
power outage. The power was technically back on in time, but we had to make a decision.
Yeah.
I think it was, wasn't it for eating breakfast or something, Denise? They needed, or they had a certain time where like, okay, we have to make a decision by this time in order to have breakfast ready.
Yeah.
And so I decided to start with a late start. I was afraid we'd have to cancel the whole day, but we did do a late start. So they lost 2 hours there. And that has to be board approved after it happens.
Right,
That's
formality. yeah.
I was along those lines. I'm trying to connect it between late starts and snow days, and probably in the near future, we'll have some discussion because I want to send out some, probably just in an update, some clear language about those things and
That'd be
how,
nice.
how they're determined and what that's all about.
Yeah, and I think
'Cause
on the snow day piece, getting a clear understanding from the county road department perspective, and Derek, I assume you're part of that too. It's making sure that that's clear and.
Part of
the-
it is we've had some negative feedback about, employees driving, students driving. And the reality of those situations are, it's really about student transportation on buses.
Yeah.
And so everybody's responsible for their own safety. If you live in an area where it's not safe for you to drive, you have to make
Stay
that
home.
decision yourself. So I just need to provide some of that clear language,
That's not a bad.
so people are aware of how we make those decisions. And
Yeah,
why.
that's not a bad idea.
Hopefully we won't have a lot of power outages, and we try to do the late start when we can.
But hopefully we do have a lot of snow.
Our river needs it, that's for sure.
Well,
The bus bid, I guess I missed this last night.
so we were just wondering why there's only one. Is this because we went to 3 last year and then we don't want to give us bids this year because we didn't go with them?
No, typically what we've done is we've done 1 year, 2 1 year, 1 year, 2 1 year. We've kind of alternated back and forth. When funds were a little higher, a couple years ago, we said, hey, let's buy two more. And now funds are dwindling. So, okay, let's buy one.
Yep.
And so we said, well, we'll get one at this point, especially with we're cutting back routes and stuff right now a little bit because we can't fill them.
Right.
So I just recommend we just do one for this year again. We have to be so early to order them because they're taking 1.5 years to get here sometimes. So we have to be so preemptive. So it's hard to say right now, okay, yeah, we're going to have enough money in the budget next year to buy $300,000 worth of buses or more, actually 320 now.
And we're
I just
waiting
asked for
on
one.
now.
We are currently waiting for one still that will be our FY25. Our FY24, we ordered 2. One of them made it the week, June 30th week, and we barely snuck that one in. The other one didn't make it until later in July. We had to actually roll that one over into FY25, and we still have one on order for FY25. Hopefully, last update I had, we'll see that within about a month or so. And then we'll look at this one more for FY26. We're so far behind.
Here's
So
for 26.
26.
I was less concerned of the one bus, but wondering why there's only one
That's
bid.
what I was saying.
Oh, one bid. Okay.
Yeah.
So with one bid, we have an option now, and the state's becoming very prolific, is to use Sourcewell. So we can use a Sourcewell bid. We don't have to go and actually solicit all the vendors. We can choose. So this vendor is what we've bought everything from for the last several years. So we can maintain consistency with our product. What happens if we don't, and this has happened in the past when we were forced to bid and then state requires us to take low bid, is that we've ended up with just everything. We have 2 different model years of IC buses, 2 different model years of Bluebirds, 3 different models of Thomas. So we're trying to maintain parts on about 6 to 8 different styles of buses. There's 3 main vendors, and then of course
These
with
guys
different
were the
models.
lowest last time we went. I remember them being the lowest.
So these were the lowest the last 2 times we bid.
Okay.
And so I just went and was okay, let's go the Sourcewell route. We'll just get what we want. We'll maintain consistency, and we'll just go that Sourcewell route versus actually bidding out to the 3 and then accepting low bid.
Is there a way to price check without official bids?
I was wondering too, is.
You can, the one thing I will tell you with that, and I added it up to verify, the state of Idaho solicits bids, like twice a year now. It used to be once a year. That solicitation of bids is what they base our depreciation amounts on. So this particular bus, according to their bid structure that we're currently under, would be about 225,000. So we are definitely way within that price limit of what we've priced in the past. We're way within that. So
That's where I was going. This one's probably right in line because we just went through it, but 2 or 3 years from now,
Yeah.
if we're using that same customer, are they
It
going to
might-
raise the price?
Might be
on us?
worth, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of checking.
we can get more. We could get another Sourcewell bid to check that. We could just bid and go low bid, or we could, as a user board, could say, okay, for these reasons, we're not going to accept low bid. We're going to stay with this.
Okay.
But in talking to a lot of the people around the area, most of the districts are going to the Sourcewell platform now.
I wonder if there's if there's an advantage to think about, not a cooperative in the sense of one buying food and sharing the price, but sort of regionally working on bid pools, so to speak.
I wouldn't think that you would honestly see that. I wouldn't, because as a state, they're buying, Cami and I buys a couple, and we buy a couple, and Lewiston buys a bunch. And also with Freightliner, that's what everyone's got in our region too. And so, I wouldn't.
So there already is somewhat of a
Everybody else is
pool.
buying them. We're all buying buses, and they're all having to fall within they're all in those state guidelines, basic bus, basically what the state requires and that kind of stuff. So if that answers that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to have a fleet of the same
Oh, for sure.
if you can. I mean, that's
Oh,
huge on your maintenance staff. And
Yeah,
cost.
when you're dealing with 3 of them, we can go to simple terms: Ford, Chevy, Dodge. You have one of each. How many parts do you have to maintain them, and how much knowledge you have to understand each system? And so keeping some consistency, I think, will also help us. It'll help us to stock parts. Even on the expense, when we can't stock parts and we got to have one shipped,
Yeah.
$50 in shipping every part. So
So the other, one in your report, there was a comment, and I'm sorry to go backwards on this,
Right.
but, there were the automatic chains. So are those the Whirlybird chains?
the ones that go underneath and
And,
yep.
and so will there still be real chains in case a bus driver
yeah.
gets in trouble?
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, all of our buses have auto chains. But
They do now.
when you
right?
need,
That's what you
yes,
said now.
but when you need to have chains, you need to put on chains. Those are your, I always tell the drivers, those are when you need to get up High School Hill.
Yep.
But they're not when you need to go up Upper Forks Creek. Yeah, when you need chains, but they're there to get you up High School Hill because it's a little bit slick. That's what they're there for.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any more questions? Bus bid?
Nope. Thanks, Derek.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, this is a carryover, I think, the board training.
Yeah. I don't know if
So
there's any more
Carmen, we need
discussion.
to do an announcement because there's a quorum attending trainings, right?
Yeah, if you've got a quorum, yes.
Yeah.
will.
So the schedule of that announcement is if we're all going Thursday, who's going Thursday?
I think it's you
Okay.
three.
I'll be there
Okay,
Thursday.
so the three of us will be there. So does it need to go out Wednesday? Yeah. So I think that,
Okay.
put that on your, just kind of make mental note there. And then, for the November conference, the same, we just want to make sure that we're compliant with that public notice. I assumed we were gonna have a quorum there.
I think we're all gonna be there. I'm
I'm
not sure.
not.
I don't think Jesse's.
You're not gonna be there.
I'd be away from my kids for 3 weeks in a row. And I told
Yeah.
her that my kids still love me, but not too many more years of that, so I'm gonna.
They
not
love
do
you
that
and
too.
they like you. That's the important part.
Okay. All right, do we have any public comment tonight?
No, we do not.
Okay. We do have an executive session item.
Oh, we do.
Could we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-206 1A and B.
Second,
Can't really discuss why.
Roll call.
So roll call?
Trustee Saint Germain.
Yes.
Trustee Daniels.
Yes.
Trustee Craig.
Yes.
Trustee Kepke.
yes.
Trustee McIntosh.
Yes.
We'll be back.
Awesome.
Are we going here?
Well, Painful. We do. Yeah, glad to have him back.
Okay, we are back from executive session and we have a number of action items. Sorry, we are back from executive session. Okay, the audit for fiscal year 24.
Yes, I'm going to make a motion that we accept the rough draft, management review draft of the 2024 audit atlas as presented to the board this evening.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, and that was a solid, I'll just make a note that that's a solid draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, thank you. Motion carries. We had a number of policies, the second read for October. We want to identify them? Okay.
As presented.
As presented.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the October 2nd read policies as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. We have a number of new hires and separations.
I will make a motion that we accept the new hires and separations as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
Got a sister-in-law on there.
So everyone else, vote. We have one. Did you get that, Carmen? Abstains. Yep. Okay. Otherwise? No further discussion? Vote.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Okay, we've had a conversation with Mr. Blanchard, right?
Yeah.
Blanchard, thank you. About a property lease near the Orofino Junior Senior High School parking lot. So we need a motion around moving forward there.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we move forward with the property lease near Orofino Junior Senior High School parking lot with Jason and the lawyer's language on it.
Hey, do we have a second?
I second.
So will we?
So the
review
discussion
lease at
point
the-
would be that we would draft a lease, work with Mr. Blanchard, your legal or your insurance company and, yep, and you'll work primarily with Jason.
Just call or stop by.
All right. Any further questions, discussion? Okay.
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I will abstain.
Okay.
I'm really good friends with his son.
Right on. Okay, but motion carries.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Peck had a late start on 9/26 due to a power outage, a 2-hour delay. Motion to approve.
Make a motion that we approve the 9/26/24 power outage 2-hour delay at Peck Elementary as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. We had a presentation of a bus bid to purchase one bus for the year 2026, correct? Yep. So do we want to accept that bid tonight with a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the bus bid presented by Derek for the total of $162,643,000.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Bye bus, Derek. And then we had a few supplemental contracts. These are for homeless, identification of homeless liaison staff people, which is sad to me we have to do that,
Yeah.
but good that we have people willing to.
Absolutely.
So a motion to approve those.
I will make a motion that we accept the supplemental contracts as presented.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Oh, just thanks to those people
Yeah.
stepping those roles.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Future agenda items. We had talked about having a PLC, professional learning community presentation, to help us understand when we read some of this stuff, what it is. I think that would be great. And then I think it would be fun to have a report from Deputy Rose, Sheriff Deputy Rose, who's now on our team. So is it acceptable to ask for a report to be like a program report?
I think maybe periodically,
Okay.
probably wouldn't be every month, but
Yeah,
we can do a periodic update for sure.
Maybe quarterly? And let us know what you're doing. Right on. Cool, thank you. That's all I have for additional. Next.
And then just making sure the announcement goes out about the
The,
meetings. that
the
we're
two
gonna be-
meetings coming
the
up.
two meetings coming up.
And I
Farm.
will be in Meridian, so I'll have to call in for the November 18th meeting. I'll be online, but I'll be in the hotel room.
Yeah, I was glad I'm in Portland right after that, so I was glad that I wasn't gonna miss that one. Okay, any other thoughts? Okay, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Great evening. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Saying.